Welcome back to Business Book Daily, where we break down one great business book every day so you can get smarter, faster. This episode is sponsored by CommissionOnly.com. Need salespeople? Instead of paying salaries, many companies hire commission-only reps, experienced sellers who get paid only when they produce. Post your opportunity on CommissionOnly.com. Thousands of motivated reps are actively looking for performance-based roles. Companies only pay when candidates apply. Today's book is The Unicorn Project by Gene Kim. Gene Kim is a best-selling author and technology researcher, best known for writing about DevOps, IT performance, and how modern organizations get work done. Here's the big idea in 30 seconds. The Unicorn Project argues that most businesses do not move slowly because their people are weak. They move slowly because the system around the work is broken. Bad processes, too many approvals, outdated tools, and constant dependencies turn smart teams into frustrated teams. If you want better results, stop blaming the people and start fixing the system. Here's the insight in plain English. This book is about flow. When work gets stuck, everything suffers. Projects take longer. Customers wait. Teams get burned out. Leaders spend their time reacting instead of improving. And a lot of companies misread the problem. They think they need more meetings, more oversight, or more rules. But often the real issue is that simple work has become too hard to complete. One small change touches too many teams, requires too many approvals, and takes too much time. That is not a talent problem. It is an operating problem. Kim's point is that speed matters, learning matters, adaptability matters. The businesses that win are usually the ones that can make changes quickly, solve problems early, and improve without creating more friction every time they touch the system. Here's the framework. The book is built around 5 ideals. First, locality and simplicity. Teams should be able to understand the systems they work on and improve them without depending on half the company. The more complicated the system, the slower everything gets. Second, focus and flow. When people are overloaded, progress drops. Constant switching between tasks looks busy, but it kills momentum. Teams work better when they reduce distractions and finish important work before starting new work. Third, improvement of daily work. Process improvement cannot be something you do later. It has to be part of the job. If teams only push output and never improve how the work gets done, the same problems keep showing up. Fourth, psychological safety. People need to be able to speak honestly about mistakes, risks, and weak processes. If people are afraid to raise problems, the business gets slower and more fragile. Fifth, customer focus. Internal improvements only matter if they lead to better outcomes for the customer. The goal is not to create prettier internal systems. The goal is to deliver better value. Here's how to apply this. Start by finding where work gets stuck. Pick one process that matters in your business: launching a feature, onboarding a client, approving a proposal, whatever it is. Then map the delays, handoffs, approvals, and bottlenecks. Look for friction, not someone to blame. Next, reduce work in progress. If your team has too many priorities, flow is already broken. Choose fewer things and finish them faster. Starting less often is sometimes the fastest way to get more done. Then, remove dependency traps. If people cannot solve routine problems without waiting on other teams, the system is too tangled. Push ownership closer to the people doing the work. After that, improve one recurring issue each week. Do not build a giant transformation plan that turns into a decorative slide deck. Fix one annoying problem, then another. Small improvements compound. Finally, reward truth. If someone flags a risk early, questions a weak process, or surfaces a mistake before it grows, that helps the business. Companies improve faster when people can say what is actually going wrong. Here are 3 insights you can take with you. Slow execution is usually a system problem, not a people problem. More process does not always create better performance. Sometimes it just creates traffic. And the best leaders do not just manage work. They remove friction so good work can happen faster. Who should read this book? If you lead a team that feels slower than it should, if you work in operations, product, IT, or leadership, or if you want practical ideas for improving systems instead of just pushing people harder. This episode is also sponsored by memoirghostwriting.com. Many of the best business books begin as ideas leaders have been refining for years, frameworks, philosophies, and lessons learned the hard way. Writing a book forces those ideas into clear form, and once they're on the page, they can scale far beyond a single conversation. At memoirghostwriting.com, we write memoirs and business books for entrepreneurs, founders, executives, and industry experts. We handle the entire process, from interviews and structure to writing, editing, design, and publishing. So the final product is polished and professional. If you've ever thought about writing a business book, it's worth a conversation. That's The Unicorn Project by Gene Kim, summarized by Business Book Daily.